I'm going to start off today's video by quoting Ralph Waldo Emerson. Emerson said that for a man to be himself in a world that's constantly trying to change him, constantly trying to make him something that he is not, is the greatest accomplishment of all time. There are very few humans who can reach that highest level of success. And if you're the kind of person who has very lofty goals, if you want to become super rich or super famous, you gotta do it by doing something, by living your life in a way that normal people aren't used to living their life. If you want to break out of that normal kind of life, you have to do something that's super abnormal. And when we're talking about doing something abnormal, something super unconventional, at every step of your path, you're gonna have doubters. Before you reach your goal, when you reach your goal, after you reach your goal, people are constantly gonna doubt you and your abilities. Now, the first thing you've got to understand is that there's two kinds of people. The first are the ones with the open mindset, the open perspectives, the ones who believe that, okay, maybe this guy who's telling me these unrealistic things may just be able to achieve them. They're always open, their minds are open to that possibility. But the second kind are the doubters. And unfortunately, that's most of mankind. Probably 90% of human beings are doubters. They may or may not voice their opinions, but most people are hardwired to believe that things aren't achievable easily, especially if they're unreasonable, unrealistic goals. A lot of people automatically assume that, you know what, it's not possible. Now, why do people doubt you? There's one thing you've got to understand about doubters. Anyone who doubts you is never doubting you, they're just doubting themselves. Now, to explain this concept better, I'm going to tell you all a story about when I started my own YouTube journey. So I was a fresh engineering grad and I had no clue about cameras or lighting or mics or anything like that. And I figured that to learn more about YouTube, I should ask a few senior YouTubers for their opinions and get some feedback from senior YouTubers. So I found this senior YouTuber who had been running his channel for about 1.5 to 2 years, and he had about 5,000 to 6,000 subscribers. So he did help me with all my technical queries. He told me about which camera I should use and which mic I should use. But I also asked him for his feedback on my fitness channel. Now keep in mind, he wasn't running a fitness channel. He was running a different kind of channel. But he immediately told me that I'm being super unrealistic with my goals. There's no chance that an Indian fitness channel can do well on YouTube. Now that was about 3 months into my YouTube journey when I was under 1,000 subscribers and I barely had any confidence with this whole YouTube game. Fast forward to now and I've got about 110,000 subscribers since that day when I asked him. And to be honest, even on the day that he told me that I won't be able to do well on YouTube, I internally knew that if I chase my dreams, I'll achieve them. Why? Because I was basing my goals on my experiences. When I was a young lifter in India, I'd figured that YouTube didn't have all the answers I was looking for. And if I create a YouTube channel that can fill those gaps in that market, my YouTube channel will do well. I had a product that I believed in and I worked towards my goal. That's all I did. Now, not even for 1 second do I blame that YouTuber for discouraging me at that point. I asked him for his opinion and he did what any other human being would do. He put himself in my place and he said that, if I was running a YouTube channel about fitness, would it be successful? No, it probably wouldn't be successful. That's why this kid's YouTube channel is not going to be successful. That's all he told me. That's how human beings are built. That's how most human beings, the ones who don't believe in your dreams, are built. They always put themselves in your place, figure out how they would have dealt with the situation, and then they come to a conclusion. Now you've got to understand that this YouTuber was just one out of the 1,000 people who told me that this YouTube channel is not possible. Why would other Indians watch an Indian teach them about fitness? Why would someone want to watch content that's already been done 1,000 times on YouTube? The viewers of BeerBiceps know how my channel is slightly different from other people's channels. This vision of BeerBiceps is what I had from the start. I always knew I'd be successful. And if I'd listened to him or those other 1,000 people who told me that it won't be successful, I wouldn't have reached the stage that I'm at right now. What you've got to understand is that whenever you ask a successful person what it takes to be successful, one of the primary things that they'll tell you is that if you want to be successful, you need to be constantly optimistic. The key word here is constantly. It's very easy to be optimistic when everything's going well. It's very easy to be optimistic at the start of the process. It's very difficult to be optimistic when your back is against the wall and 1,000 people are pointing fingers at you and telling you that you won't be able to achieve that goal. If you call yourself an optimist, it's not just about how your attitude is when things are going well. Your attitude has to be sky high, and you've got to constantly look upwards when the whole world is telling you that you won't be able to do it. When everything around you is being pessimistic, you have to be optimistic and still believe in your goal. Remember, if you want to be successful and if you want to achieve all those unrealistic goals, it boils down to three aspects. The first, as I spoke about, is optimism, which is probably the most important aspect. At every stage of the process, even when things aren't going well, you've got to look upwards. The second is hard work. You won't get to anything without working hard. And when I say working hard, I don't just mean hustling. I mean giving it your all even when you have nothing to give. Throughout this BeerBiceps journey, there were 1,000 points where I wanted to give up, but I didn't. I found that little bit of fuel remaining inside me and I pushed in order to achieve my long-term goal. And the third thing you've got to remember, which is also very important, is that whatever your goal is, make sure you work towards it with integrity. Make sure that the outcome of your actions has a positive impact on the world. You just have these three aspects in your life and you put these three aspects into your work, and your work will lead to your success. When it comes to doubters, each doubter is just like a little test that life is throwing at you. Life is throwing a test at you and saying, hey, this person's going to doubt you. How are you going to react? And it's your call. Are you going to take what they have to say and sit with it and get discouraged and leave the long-term path? Or are you going to say, okay, you have your opinion, I'm going to keep doing my thing and work with those three aspects of success? It's entirely your call. Keep moving forward.